For years, Ellen DeGeneres was a symbol of laughter, warmth, and daytime comfort. Her show became a daily ritual for millions, built on humor, celebrity moments, and a simple message: be kind. But like many public figures who reach extraordinary heights, her journey was never as simple as it appeared on screen. Over time, a shift began, subtle at first, then impossible to ignore. Conversations about her public image started to change, and the same platform that once celebrated her began questioning her. This wasn't just a story about fame fading, it was about how quickly perception can evolve in the digital age. What followed was not a single moment, but a series of events that reshaped how people saw her, reminding everyone that even the most beloved figures are not immune to scrutiny, pressure, or the complexities of human behavior. When public image meets public scrutiny, in early 2020, during a time when much of the world was already under stress, an online conversation sparked widespread attention. Social media users began sharing personal experiences and opinions about Ellen's behavior, particularly behind the scenes. What started as a viral trend quickly turned into a much larger discussion. Former employees and individuals connected to her show described their experiences, raising concerns about workplace culture. While not every story could be verified, the sheer volume of voices created a powerful narrative. Media outlets picked up the story, and soon it became a major topic of public debate. The contrast between Ellen's on-screen message of kindness and these accounts created confusion and disappointment among fans. It was a moment that highlighted how public figures are often held to the standards they promote, and how difficult it can be to reconcile image with reality when questions arise. The investigation and its impact. As the conversation grew, a formal internal review was launched by the company behind her show. This step marked a turning point, shifting the situation from online discussion to a structured investigation. Changes were made within the production team, and efforts were announced to improve the work environment. When Ellen addressed the issue publicly, she acknowledged that things had not always aligned with the values she stood for. Her response was seen in different ways. Some appreciated her willingness to take responsibility, while others felt it came too late. Regardless of opinion, the impact was clear. The show, once a dominant force in daytime television, began to lose momentum. Ratings declined, and the sense of trust that had supported its success was no longer as strong. It became evident that rebuilding public confidence is often far more difficult than earning it in the first place. The end of an era. In 2021, Ellen announced that her long-running show would come to an end after its 19th season. Officially, she explained that she was ready for new challenges, but many people connected the decision to the events of the previous year. When the final episode aired in 2022, it was filled with emotion, reflection, and familiar faces. It was not just the end of a television program, it was the closing chapter of a significant era in entertainment. For nearly 2 decades, the show had influenced culture, introduced audiences to countless stories, and provided moments of joy. At the same time, its conclusion carried a sense of complexity. It wasn't simply a celebration or a farewell, it was both. The ending reflected everything her journey had been: successful, impactful, and, at times, deeply challenging. Early life and personal challenges. Long before fame, Ellen's life was shaped by experiences that were far from easy. Born in Louisiana, she grew up in a modest household where change came early. Her parents' separation during her teenage years created instability, and adapting to a new family dynamic was not simple. Like many people who later turned to comedy, she found that humor could serve as a coping mechanism. It became a way to navigate difficult emotions and create moments of light in otherwise heavy situations. During her young adulthood, she faced financial struggles, working various jobs just to support herself. These experiences didn't just build resilience, they shaped her perspective. The ability to find humor in everyday life, even during hardship, became the foundation of her comedic voice. It's often said that the best comedians draw from real life, and in her case, that truth was especially clear. Breaking into comedy and finding her voice. Ellen's path into comedy was not immediate success, but gradual progress. She performed in small venues, often in front of unpredictable audiences. Some nights were encouraging, others were difficult, but over time, her style began to stand out. She developed a way of observing ordinary situations and turning them into something relatable and funny. This approach connected with audiences in a unique way. Her big break came when she appeared on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, a milestone for any comedian. Being invited to sit and talk after her performance was a sign of recognition that few achieve. From there, opportunities expanded. She moved from stand-up stages to television, building a reputation as a thoughtful and engaging performer. It was a steady climb, built on persistence rather than overnight fame. A defining moment in television history. In the late 1990s, Ellen made a decision that would change her career and impact television history. During an episode of her sitcom Ellen, her character came out as gay, a reflection of her own life. At the time, this was a groundbreaking moment. It brought visibility to a community that was often underrepresented, but it also came with significant backlash. The show faced declining support, and eventually it was canceled. Professionally, it was a difficult period. Personally, it required immense courage. Looking back, that moment is often seen as a turning point, not just for her, but for representation in media. While it came at a cost, it also laid the groundwork for broader acceptance in the years that followed. It showed that authenticity, even when challenging, can have lasting impact, reinvention, and massive success. After a period of lower visibility, Ellen made a remarkable comeback with The Ellen DeGeneres Show in 2003. The show quickly became a success, offering a mix of humor, interviews, and heartfelt moments. What set it apart was its tone. It felt positive, light, and welcoming. Ellen's personality became central to its appeal. She danced, joked, and interacted with guests in a way that felt natural. Over time, the show became one of the most influential programs in daytime television. Beyond hosting, she also expanded into other areas, including voice acting in films like Finding Nemo. Her career reached new heights, and she received numerous awards and honors. For many, this period defined her legacy, a time when she was seen not just as a comedian, but as a cultural figure. The pressure behind the persona's success at that level often comes with intense pressure. Maintaining a public image, especially one built around kindness and positivity, can be demanding. Over time, expectations grow, not just from audiences, but from within. Ellen's role required constant energy, creativity, and engagement. Behind the scenes, managing a large production added another layer of responsibility. It's a reminder that public figures often carry burdens that aren't visible on screen. The gap between personal reality and public perception can widen, creating stress that is difficult to manage. While audiences see polished performances, the process behind them can be far more complex. In Ellen's case, the pressure to consistently meet expectations became an important part of her story, especially as conversations about workplace culture began to emerge. Life beyond the spotlight. In recent years, Ellen has stepped away from the daily demands of television and embraced a quieter lifestyle. Alongside her wife, Portia de Rossi, she has focused on personal well-being and a slower pace of life. This transition reflects a broader shift, moving from constant public presence to a more private existence. For someone who spent decades in the spotlight, this change is significant. It allows space for reflection, growth, and healing. Many people reach a point where priorities change, and for Ellen, that moment appears to have arrived. Rather than chasing the next big project, she seems to be choosing balance. It's a reminder that stepping back is not always about loss. It can also be about finding a different kind of fulfillment. A complex but lasting legacy. Ellen DeGeneres' story is not one-dimensional. It includes success, influence, controversy, and personal growth. She has made people laugh, contributed to cultural conversations, and faced moments of criticism. Her journey reflects the complexity of being in the public eye, where achievements and challenges often exist side by side. While opinions about her may vary, her impact on entertainment is undeniable. She helped shape modern daytime television and opened doors for conversations that were once considered difficult. At the same time, her story serves as a reminder that no one is perfect. Public figures, like everyone else, evolve over time. In the end, her legacy is likely to be remembered not just for its highs or its lows, but for the full picture, a career that, like any human story, was shaped by both light and shadow.